Now then, let's get started, shall we? And here we go! And just as we begin, Guy Bites at Games has raided. Greetings, Guy and Raiders. For those who don't know me, which will be many of you, my name is... Oh my goodness, the second raid! Well, greetings, I see Mayor Emmy, I see Tilted Gaming, and of course, it's Barrymore. Welcome all of you, greetings. Please feel free to pull up a seat wherever you like, and goodness gracious, I almost failed to start my music. Well, hello everyone. It is good to see you all. I should actually unmute the desktop audio. There we go. For those of you who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Osmo Bergamo, Dean of Conjuration here at the Vemay Teldt Royal Academy of the Metaphysical Arts. This channel normally belongs to Miss Aster Gardenia, the Good Knight, but she is a collaborator with me and thus has allowed me to entertain you all today and hold my second of my conjuration classes. I am a quite recent faculty here at Vemay Teldt and getting in some extra classes with your universe. You see, I am a wizard of conjuration, and for those unfamiliar with the school of magic, that corresponds to teleportation and cross-planar travel, or in this instance, cross-universe travel for the Night Gardenia that you are all familiar with exists in an entirely parallel universe to my own, and it is through her dabblings in conjuration magic in her own universe that our paths were able to cross. You can learn a bit more about that if you use the command office. Let me type it in here. That should bring you to where I hold my office hours. I've had that open since the 1st of April was my first stream, my debut, if you were. And here I am for my second stream. You will also see I'm joined by this fellow here. This is not my familiar Pierre. This is instead a fey cat that wandered in while the fey crossings opened up, and it unfortunately was stuck on my side of the portal when the fey crossings closed. They have just opened again this week, which changes some things in the weave that allows this magic that allows me to stream to your universe more possible, but unfortunately the Fey Cat has yet to cross back to its own home. Last time I held a cooking stream like this, the Fey Cat bit me in the ankles, so I will banish it if necessary, but we're going to hope it is a bit better behaved. So, with all of that introduction, I do have a ritual, an arcane ritual prepared today. One that you can actually recreate in the mundane world, where most of you, I believe, are likely watching me from. That will be for when we get this banana bread in the oven, though. I actually bought a brand new baking pan just for this occasion, or a loaf pan. So, I've never made this recipe before. It actually comes by the recommendation of Wildflowers the Bunny, Knight Gardenia's good friend. So, we are going to make a few small adjustments to the recipe. I realized that, I have to make a few substitutions. I didn't get all the ingredients, but we'll make it work. I'm sure it will go fine. But it is good to see so many new faces in my classroom. Feel free to tell me how all of you are. It's very good to meet you, and I suppose while we chat, I will begin baking. That as well, there are some channel point redeems. You can summon my familiar, which I think is familiar to many people who frequent Knight Gardenia's channel, but there's also the Legend Lore redeem, which allows you to ask me questions, whether it be about myself, about the School of Conjuration, or anything else you'd like. Now let me pull up that recipe. The oven is already preheated. I think we will hold off briefly on greasing and flouring the loaf pan. I think I would like to start with the dry ingredients. Well, this is interesting. It says cream the sugar, margarine, and eggs. Mix the bananas, buttermilk, and lemon juice in a separate bowl. Okay, so we start with 2 bowls of wet mixtures, and then we mix the dries into that. Interesting, but okay, we'll make it work. Happy Wednesday indeed! I suppose I'll just, instead of my idea, we'll take things in the order that the recipe gives them. So, I did not pre-measure anything because why do that when I could do it with all of you? Sugar, 3/4 cup. Let's see, I have many cups. I could do a 1/2 and a 1/4. So I suppose I'll do that. And sugar is not out. Okay, let's get that out quick. Hello, Faye Cat. Please do not hop into here. Where did the sugar? Your flour. Where did I put the sugar? Oh, I found it, and the cat is in the cabinet. Get out. Where are you? He's absolutely sequestered in here. Please remove yourself. Okay. I've retrieved him. Here he is. Oh, this was a poor idea, but figured you might like a closer look at him. Down he goes. I am better equipped this time than I was, last time I attempted a cooking stream. I had a sort of test stream a few weeks ago. I made some grilled cheese. I was supposed to make, stuffing, because it is one of Knight Gardenia's favorite foods, and it felt like a nice simple thing to get everything sorted out, work through the stuff, but I realized during my starting soon screen that my celery had gone bad. So I had to, as I was starting to stream, find a different recipe. So that was quite the time, not ideal in the least. And yes, I got my camera set up slightly better. I have music this time. I didn't my first time around, and also I have a spray bottle for if the Fey Cat becomes too annoying. We will hope that's not necessary. No, I've opened it and he is going in. Do not. Okay. We have successfully, after 15 minutes, put one ingredient into a bowl and he is biting ankles. Okay. Sugar. Margarine. We use half of this. I'm just going to cut this right in half. Why am I using that knife? No, we will. Why not? Okay. We have our half stick. Ah! We have, completely unharmed, our half stick of butter. There it goes. Let us throw out the wrapper. There is one other improvement I made to my previous setup. My first cooking stream was about an hour and a half, and my legs got very tired. So I actually have, slightly off to the side, a chair. And if I need to take a break, I will sit in the chair for the duration of the break. The Fey Cat was quite fond of the chair, as well as I was setting everything up. You're rooting for the cat. I mean, I would prefer you root for me, but as long as you're having fun, I suppose. Okay. We have the sugar, the margarine, and 2 eggs. I'm double checking. Yes, 2 eggs. So this will allow me to put another ingredient into the fridge again. I'm just going to put them here so I can put this in the fridge. Now the recipe did say 2 eggs lightly whisked, and I hope it didn't mean to say I should do that before I add them to the bowl, because as you can see, I haven't. But the butter obviously needs some mixing as well, so we'll get there when we get there. There is an eggshell. And hello, reversed cards! I saw you having some curious thoughts during the starting soon screen. You are back from work. The burger machine stopped working halfway through the day and you needed to close early. Well, I was about to congratulate you on getting out of work early, but that does not appear to have been the case. I'm going to throw out these eggshells. The Fey Cat has, parked himself on the floor nearby, which I'm perfectly fine with if he wants to stay seated. Okay, so sugar, margarine, and eggs in a large bowl. And in the separate bowl, we are going to put the bananas, milk, and lemon juice. I suppose I could try doing something about this first. Steps 1 through 3. Add sugar, butter, and eggs. Many steps later, created the Philosopher's Stone by accident. Well, I believe that would be more a transmutation school's task. Though that would be very impressive, and I think, the Professors Nell and Alta of the Transmutation School would, be quite impressed with me. So we're going to cream these. It is creaming better than I expected it to. Good evening, good Cross. And how are you? You are half in and out, but you look forward to class. Well, Cross, I know you have been concerned about the ritual I am performing. That will be performed after I put the loaf pan into the oven. I don't have a perfect explanation on when exactly that will be time frame wise, but hopefully it is better than nothing. I might perhaps take a brief break in the meantime between the putting the bread in the oven and the ritual, so when we come back from the BRB screen is I think when I will hold the ritual. Which, so the rest of you, Cross actually came into my office hours in near person the other day, and there is a video you can see if you go visit my office, where you can see about 15 minutes of Cross and I speaking to one another, during which Cross did ask, well, didn't exactly ask, but wondered if this ritual I will be performing later today is safe. And I do guarantee I am a responsible educator, and I would never put my students in undue harm. Magic is, of course, a dangerous subject, and I believe that the responsibility of an educator is to allow you to experience magic in a controlled environment and even have the chance to witness the potential dangers of that magic without being in any danger yourselves, by which I mean the ritual later today will only be of danger to me. But hopefully the education will be worth it. That said, we are now on the second bowl, and we are going to mash some bananas. These look about perfect for banana bread. Do you not think so? Indeed, Nageki. Is Nageki good, or would you prefer Franco? Honestly, the name Nageki reminds me of, one of Knight Gardenia's favorite characters in Hotoful Boyfriend, the bird dating sim, and so my eyes gravitated to that of the two names. Professor, am I allowed to eat the arcane ore if you are a magical creature that subsists on magical energy? Well, I suppose that would, if you were one of Miorma's mining golems, they subsist on magical energy and are powered by arcane ore. Give me 1 second to throw out these banana peels, and I can conjure an illusion of the arcane ore that Reverse Cards is talking about. 1 moment. I just realized... Oh no. The desktop audio for the stream... There we go. You haven't been hearing music the entire time. Now you have been. Or now you can. I'm sorry that there was no music before there was supposed to be music. Let us see. Do a bit of bibbity-bobbity, as some would say. This is an illusion and not real, I must say, for the Miorman government. This is a highly controlled magical substance used in the country of Miorma that powers many innovations in Miorman government and industry. It is extremely potent, concentrated natural arcane energy, and legally I am not allowed to handle it because I do not possess the licenses and years of training required to get such a license. So again, this is an illusion and not actual arcane ore. But if it was, I would tell you not to eat it. It is not edible. If you do not handle this ore with the utmost of care, it can do just about anything. Quite like a wild magic surge, such as those experienced in the Feywild, which, for those just meeting me, the Feywild is, there is a Fey crossing, quite near where I live in Miorma, and going to and from there is how I obtained my my specialization in conjuration magic, and my passion for it as well. Let me put this illusion away. There we go. Bananas are in a bowl. What else goes in this bowl? Milk and lemon juice. We are also going to add our first improvised ingredient into this bowl. Though actually I think it should go in last. Yes, it goes in last. Never mind. Strike that. Seeing that rock, you don't know magic, but you know money. That size would fetch a pretty price. I see. Well, I'm sure it would be extremely valuable if it were not an illusion. Again, I cannot legally handle that substance. How much milk do we need? 1/2 cup. Here's our 1/2 cup. And here is the milk. This originally said buttermilk in the recipe, but we are just using regular milk. And we're just going to add a bit extra lemon juice, and that should serve as a proper replacement. Speaking of, how much lemon juice does it want us to have? 1 tablespoon. Tablespoon, yes. Yes, hello, Fey Cat. Meow, meow. The milk has been put away. Tablespoon. Here's our tablespoon. I think Knight Gardenia would compare it to a sword, as she compares many things. Conjure familiar, alright. Yes, my familiar is not here in the kitchen with me. It's just me and the Fey Cat. I forgot to open the lemon juice ahead of time. That's fine, we're fine. This is a tablespoon of lemon juice. Was I supposed to have shaken this? Let's shake it now, because we're going to add a little bit of extra to make up for the buttermilk situation. I don't know how much more. Perhaps just a tad? Just a tad. A tad is good. I think our additional ingredient will help make up for it as well. I'm going to put the lemon juice away. It is away. Oh, I'm Fey Cat. If you don't want me stepping on your tail, you should stop putting it directly under my feet. I don't know what to tell you. So buttermilk, bananas, buttermilk, and lemon juice in a separate bowl. And then blend into the creamed sugar mixture. I was supposed to mash the bananas before I put them in this bowl, and I forgot. That is why I have a fork out. I believe this is how you mash bananas. Now, truth be told, class, this recipe, banana bread, asked for 3 bananas, and I realized today I only had 2. So I looked up suitable substitutions for bananas in baking specifically. One suggestion was egg and sugar. 1 egg would substitute 1 banana. And I have eggs, so I could do that. But I also saw fruit puree. And what I also have is strawberries. And then I looked up if anyone's made strawberry banana bread, and many have, but they don't use it as a banana substitute, they use it as an addition. They normally use still 3 bananas and then additionally 2 cups of chopped strawberries. The substitutions page said that the strawberries could be used as a puree, so we have some strawberries. I think this should be more than enough. And I could do 2 things. I could do the way that strawberry banana bread recipes say to do it, which is that you nicely chop the strawberries and then fold them into the mixture at the very end. Or I could do it as a substitution, so I could chop these up and then attempt to puree them, which I don't want to get out the mixer because that would be terrible audio quality, but I could perhaps mash it like I did the bananas just now, and I could fold them in right now. Which do you think I should do? I think the method of folding them in at the end is likely the smarter decision. But I am tempted to try to mash them in at this step anyhow, because it seems a bit more fun and it feels like it would make a more colorful end product. Speaking of colorful end products, so I think as I talk about this, I will go ahead and start chopping some strawberries. So I have the trusty cutting board, and I have strawberries, which I should have washed these ahead of time, I'm now realizing. I also don't know how many I'm going to use. I'm just going to wash berries. So I've said this before in my previous class, and I also do realize I am now on my 3rd tangent. I am not an orderly man. I thrive in chaos a bit more. That is one thing that makes the Feywild appeal to me, in contrast to the incredibly lawful nation of Miorman. So baking is considered a science, a chemistry, while cooking otherwise is often considered more of an art. I think I am a bit more of precise measurements and things are also required for being a wizard, so, we'll call this training, perhaps? Yes. Even being faculty now, one can always practice and get better. Haha, M. Oh, believe me, Barrymore, I am quite familiar with the accidental typing. It happens. I'm cutting these very small. I do not get the feeling these will mash quite like the bananas will. but maybe if I'm very determined. I mean, there's certainly magics that could do it, but that might be a bit overkill and make a bit of a mess. Took a bit of a nibble. I'm trying to think of how much fruit mush one banana really produced, so that I can know when I've made my 1-to-1 ratio. I want to say that the water content of the strawberries and the bananas are actually a lot less disparate than I had expected. I think I can mush these. I will throw in this last strawberry because I washed it. But I think this will be a sensible amount, and I will mash them in now because it sounds more fun and I want to. I'm going to throw these away for a second and try not to step on him. I've returned. It seems that I could have preheated the oven not nearly so soon, because it is very warm, and wizard robes are also very warm, but I am nothing if not committed to looking the part. If you are going to walk down a path, you ought to do it, trying to look and embrace the part as much as you can. So I'm going to mush these as mushy as they possibly can be. Is everything all right in terms of sound, visuals? Is everything pleasant and enjoyable? I can always adjust them somewhat. I realize that I can hear the music, which means that it is possible, if it were too loud, that the microphone might be picking it up in addition to the audio being streamed, which would be bad. Oh, this is very mushy. I think this will be a fine red banana. I just remembered the third of those tangents I just abandoned. I'm making quite the mess of dishes. Let me push these in. Oh, I can also put the strawberries away now. Maybe this will be the graveyard for used dishes. That is what we'll do. So, to return to one of the 3 tangents I forgot in the midst of all the other ones. I have been somewhat upset is perhaps a strong word, but concerned about my classes' extreme desire to consume arcane ore. And I was considering what to do about this. And, everyone seemed to want to eat things that are colorful, so I hope this is colorful enough. But one thing I picked up while trying to solve this problem was some food coloring. I think at this point we have 2 different colors, and they will be very pretty, so adding this would be a shame. But I had considered making a channel point redeem, one of the group ones that everyone pools points towards, to vote that we put some of this in the bread batter to make some ungodly blue banana bread, but I didn't end up making it because of the strawberries. Alright. We have 2 bowls. We shall mix the bananas, buttermilk, and lemon juice, and then blend it into the creamed sugar mixture. Here we go. I don't know if it wanted me to use like a high-powered tool. I am not in the mundane world with your power mixers and all that, so I don't have such an implement. So we are going to simply hope it is not necessary. It would have been handy if Wildflowers, the bunny, had been able to join and give me a few pointers. I know that this is a recipe she has made many times, though not with strawberries. That's new. But, you know, as much as fun as it can be to walk the paths that others have walked and experience it for yourself, you can have some fun putting your own twist on things as well. Alright, we've mixed these together, and I am a little bit concerned that the butter needed a bit more mashing. I'm not sure what I'll do about that yet. We'll figure it out when we get there. Next, we shall sift. I think that calls for like a colander or something. I don't have one of those, so I'm going to ignore it. We are going to sift flour, salt, baking powder, baking soda together, and then we will mix it into the batter. And then we will loaf and grease and lightly flour our pan. I still don't know what flour the pan means, but, well, we'll figure it out, I suppose. The butter really, I should not allow to be in that large of chunks, though. I do have an inkling of what that will result in, which is, bad. Bad. Bad is what that would result in. It will not melt in the way we want, but, I don't know, maybe the addition of the dry ingredients will give us a better, like, just trying to mush it with the spoon and the wet ingredients, it just kind of floats around and avoids me, so I think adding the dry ingredients might actually make it a little easier to deal with. So, let's do that. I am focusing. I have an attention span. 2 cups of flour. Here's our cup. I realize this is a wet bowl and it will bode poorly for me, but no it won't. Oh no. Well, that's undesirable. There are creatures in the sugar. Flour. This is flour, and there are creatures in the flour. I don't think I can use this. No, Ninja Cat Muffin, the ritual is for later. Though now I don't know what is going to happen to the banana bread because I don't think I have spare flour, and this is not good. I don't believe I have a substitute for flour. Well, there are. Did that not happen to you in Night Gardenia's last bag of flour? Alright. I've realized baking is not something you can just substitute willy-nilly, but how well could we substitute brown sugar for... No, that's sugar, not flour. No, that won't work at all. Never mind. That would have worked if the sugar was the problem. And I've already used the sugar. It's fine. So, there is a store across the street. It would take me perhaps 15 minutes to rush to the store, buy flour, and come back. That's not ideal at all. I'd prefer not to completely leave the house, leave the office, the school, in the middle of a stream, especially with the Fey cat probably getting into things. That being said, I do have a 15-minute video I could put on, and hopefully I wouldn't be gone too much longer than that video takes to play. My familiar is not a Fey cat. The Fey cat came from the Feywild. It stumbled in. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw this in the garbage because it is full of creatures. And I've come too far in this recipe to cancel making it. I can't switch recipes. I already have half the batter made. So, we were cooking Dagger Gun, and my flour has gone, my flour has been infested, so I actually need to take emergency measures and go get more flour. So, we are going to... One moment, please. Actually, I think I would like to keep my Cooking Mama music, if that could go back. Goodness gracious. I am a wizard, not a master of technology. Let us go and find something to study while I am at the store. That isn't right. Videos. Not there. View video. Yes. Let us apologies. We have a video up I can share with you now. I just need a capture. Let us go. Oh, I have everything except the flour. The banana's already mushed. The banana's already mushed. Should I put this in the fridge while I'm out? I was going to I need to hide it somewhere. I was going to do the microwave, but to be safe, I might put it in the fridge. That won't help my whole butter situation, though. Game capture, Discord capture. Let's go. A window capture. Let's see if there's you. Yes, that is the one I wanted. One moment. Just, get this to the proper size. Well, I can't full screen it and actually adjust things. How do we do this? I suppose one thing we could do... Putting my hand over it feels a little odd, but I'm trying to put it inside of the frame. You can all have a little live watch together. I know it is not ideal, but it's, well, we have to make do with our circumstances. So, I'm going to mute my microphone, head to the store, and play this video for you, and, hopefully I will be back in roughly 15 minutes, and, we will continue cooking with the new flour. Thank you in advance. I should make a pinned message as well, shouldn't I? I shouldn't switch tabs. Can I do it from here? Leaving to buy more flour. Video time while I'm out. And can we pin that? I'm not seeing a way to do it in there, so I must briefly pin. There we go. Put this here. Alright. Class, be good while I'm gone, please. I'm going to mute the microphone and run as quickly as I can to the store. Because I can't conjure more, because... Shut up! And there we go. Now, let's hope that this scrying crystal is a bit more resilient. Oh? And what's this? It seems it's already getting a reaction. Who could this be? Why, hello there, friend. It is Cross, correct? The cross-planar cleric?
That is what they call me. It does seem like this worked decently well.
Yes, you are looking a bit static, but I am hearing you well and clear, and you seem to be hearing me.
Wonderful.
Yes, excellent. Well, welcome to my office. Of course, We interrupt this program for I was rushing out and the car keys, my keychain, I got batter on it. Got batter on my keychain. I needed to exclaim about that. Also, this means I can start the video over and buy myself a bit more time. I'm starting to doubt my 15-minute estimate, but we'll hope. Also, I should probably get rid of this too, so the fake cat doesn't try to eat it. But putting a plate over it. Yes, that will. I'm so good at being a teacher. Alright, one other thing we can do is I'm going to move the chair here so that if the fey cat decides to sit on it, it will be really cute when I get back. Okay, I'm going to start the video over because I need the time. And, let's try this again, shall we? The fake cat is loud and bitey. Oh, also, were you able to hear the video? Was the video, audible? I'm going to assume it was, because no one was saying that it wasn't. Well, I wasn't... Okay, good. Alright, back to your study session. I'm going to restart the video. I need that 59 seconds. See you in 15! And apologies again for the inconvenience. And there we go. Now, let's hope that this scrying crystal is a bit more resilient. Oh? And what's this? It seems it's already getting a reaction. Who could this be? Why, hello there, friend. It is Cross, correct? The cross-planar cleric?
That is what they call me. It does seem like this worked decently well.
Yes, you are looking a bit static, but I am hearing you well and clear, and you seem to be hearing me.
Wonderful.
Yes, excellent. Well, welcome to my office. Of course, my doors are open. Thank you for attending my class back in April. And, I believe I may have been expecting you.
Yes, well, you said your office hours are open, so I have come to, take advantage of them.
I would say pull out a seat, but you are a projection from my scrying crystal, so I suppose where you are, pull out a seat, then make yourself comfortable.
I will do my best. That said, I have a lot of questions for you.
It did seem that way. I am happy to answer them.
Wonderful. Great. Lovely. That said, I just want to do one thing first, if I am tangible enough for this.
Well, I suppose there's only one way to find out. I hope it won't cause any damage to my office. I did just arrange everything.
Well, I wouldn't want to do that, but if you would please make a wisdom saving throw, I'd be much obliged.
Oh, a wisdom save. Are we sure that's necessary? What are you? Wisdom save. Oh, all right. If I don't have any choice, how does a 14 do?
Not good enough, for you. But if you would please just answer me honestly and truthfully.
This is a zone of truth. Now, I'm not sure why you think I would lie to you. I mean, I said I was perfectly happy to answer any and all your questions, so this seems a bit extreme.
There's a bit of a difference between being happy to answer someone's questions and actually answering said questions truthfully. And, well, I already know that you're a liar.
I was quite honest during my lecture.
Right.
Well, hopefully I can set any doubts you have to rest. Yes, what is your first question?
Well, in that case, if we're speaking of doubts, just to make sure that everything is good, just to be extra sure, do you intend any harm to anyone, especially Aster or any of my classmates?
I mean, for all Perpetuity? I mean, if I might attempt some self-defense one day, but in terms of Knight Gardenia and those of you, her friends that have attended my classes, absolutely not. I do not intend to harm any of you. Least of all her. I'm quite fond of her. Just as you are. A good egg is what I think you said.
Indeed. I am glad to hear that. Do you, foresee any specific action you might take which, would, provoke the need of self-defense from any of, my classmates?
I don't believe so. I simply wish to, try out life as a professor. And continue my studies of cross-universal conjuration, which is, this conversation we're having right now is quite impressive. I assume you've been practicing your conjuration studies as well, perhaps at the college in your universe.
Well, communication across, dimensions and planes is, my specialty.
Wonderful! Well, we seem to share something in common then.
Fair enough. I do want to like you.
Well, I hope you will.
I just want to make sure everyone's safe.
And I believe that everyone should be safe. I don't know why they wouldn't be.
Why are you taking on the form you currently are wearing?
Well, if one is to try out a new way of life, one should immerse themselves properly. Get into the headspace. I think this is a very academic, wizardly sort of way of presenting myself, and in my new role here at Vemay Teldt, that I would like to present myself properly as a member of the faculty.
Are you aware of any others that have taken that form in the past?
I am aware of similar individuals from different universes.
Have you met any of them?
I believe you are referring to your professor, Osmo Bergamo, who did attend my class in April. It made me quite nervous, actually, having a much more experienced professor attend my very first lecture. There is no one like that in my universe, though.
There are no others you've met that have a similar form?
Correct.
Okay. That's good. Why is Aster under the impression that you are her other self?
Cross, do you remember at my first lecture, the second to last slide of my PowerPoint, the one on my universe's Knight Gardenia? She hasn't woken up yet. I am not sure she ever will. She was very excited at the prospect of meeting herself from another universe. I would not like to break that impression. She's a good egg.
The cause and effect does not exactly line up from what you're implying.
You asked why she was under that impression. I believe I answered that.
All right. Why did you contact her originally? I know what she has said, and I would like to hear it, and I know what you have said, but I would like to hear it from you once again.
I contacted Knight Gardenia of your universe because I found the version of her and mine and was very curious about her. My divinations led me to finding her, and my doing so, I believe, and this is perhaps an unacademic hypothesis, but I believe that my divining about her led to our fates intertwining somewhat, and then her actually coming into more frequent contact was her own doing. Her conjuration spell went a bit awry. I believe she was trying to visit you, in fact, and instead, she found me, and I was happy to see her.
Alright.
I hope this is, satisfying. This is all the sorts of things I said back during my lecture.
I feel more satisfied now.
Well, I'm glad then.
I would apologize, but I'm not actually sorry.
You do not give me that impression, no.
Well, fair is fair. I did cast a spell on you. Do you have a question for me?
Considering how you have entered my office, I could perhaps think of one or two. Have you expressed your doubts to Knight Gardenia?
Not as explicitly as I have done here.
Do you plan to continue expressing those doubts?
If I am given reason to have doubts again, yes. At the moment, I feel much more satisfied, especially considering that you do not intend to harm her and that you have expressed a fondness for her.
Yes, she's a knight from a completely different universe than me. She has gained the ability to come here, but she's no trouble to me. In fact, I quite enjoy her company.
I have another question.
All right.
Do you intend to keep her?
No.
Very well then.
If I had wanted to keep her from going anywhere, I wouldn't have taught her conjuration magic, now would I?
People are capricious.
I suppose they are. Nonetheless, I hope you can feel at ease about our mutual friend.
I do feel better. That said, if I do have good reason for my feelings to change in the future, if you ever do harm her, I will definitely pay unto you as you have done.
Well, I hope to pay on to her and you only, kindness and perhaps some magic lessons. So hopefully that is the only thing you will be paying me, other than, perhaps another visit to my office. Which I hope, your next visit will have a bit less of a threatening aura.
I will do my best. My apologies, but also, again, I'm not sorry.
Well, I guess I'm not quite glad, but I appreciate that our mutual cohort has such, caring friends.
Yes, she is a very trusting person. And I do not wish to see that trust betrayed.
Fair enough.
By the way, I do consider enchantment harm, just for the future, so you know. I will be much nicer next time we meet.
What? Are you under the effects of your own spell?
Is there something you wish to hear me say truthfully?
That last thing you said, but never mind. Though you do not have much trust in me, I will trust my cohort's friends.
That's very kind of you.
Well, I try to be, and you said that you would pay on to me what I do to you, so...
Guess who has flour?
Was there anything else?
Not particularly.
Less than 15 minutes! That's conjuration magic, baby!
Yes, before you go, Cross, I had been meaning to reach out to our mutual cohort, but perhaps next time you see Knight Gardenia, you could inform her that I would like to make use of her stream again, later this month, sometime in the last week of June. Like
I will
now!
let her know. I'm sure she will be pleased.
Yes, well, fortunately, I just fixed the scrying crystal. Your timing is quite miraculous.
Miraculous. Yes.
Is there a reason that you contacted me now? Alright. We might as well let the rest of it play out.
As I said.
Your specialty. Alright then.
Well, hope you have a lovely day, Professor.
So you say, but you're not under the spell. Anyhow, good night, Cross.
I mean-
Tell Knight Gardenia I say hi.
I will.
Well then, I guess I have a lecture to prepare. And there we go! 15 minutes just like I said. I have flour all over my hands because the bag is leaking. Let us get rid of this. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for your patience. I have flour. It's a different brand. The fake cat is still here. He was not sitting on the chair. Also, remember when I said near the beginning of this stream that wizard robes are very hot in the summer? Well, let us just say it's a good thing I have conjuration magic to simply teleport me to the store and then out of the store, because if I just made a mad dash, including 6 flights of stairs, I would be quite winded, now wouldn't I? Now then, we are making banana bread. We have flour, which means we can finally put together the dry ingredients and then fold it into our strawberries and bananas and egg and sugar and lemon juice and milk. And then we can grease this pan, flour it for some reason, and then we can do our ritual after I take a small break to sit down after all that, not running down 6 flights of stairs. Isn't that right, Faye Cat? Right. I need the grease for the pan. Cat, no! The Faye Cat is back in the cabinets. I don't know why I didn't expect that. We do have non-stick cooking spray. There we go. Faye Cat, please come out. Faye Cat, can you stop camping in the very I'm just going to ignore him. He lives there now. He is in the pantry, yes. What was it? 2 cups of flour? Oh, I also forgot my scrying crystal, which was unfortunate because I wanted to, in case I did not take less than 15 minutes, to be able to update you that the flour was on its way. It didn't turn out to be necessary, which was very good because I could not message in the stream chat while I was out because I left my scrying crystal right here on the counter. 2 cups of flour, of fine, normal, non-cursed flour. And, Miss Emmy, you ask me, why so cute? Well, if you think that I appear cute, you probably think that, many wizard faculty are cute. Since I am, doing my best to look the part. Yes, there are no vermin in this flour. So we are going to put it in the bowl. Nice scoop. One. And if it isn't a individual I have heard a bit about, I believe your name is Lawler Hicks. You have been sending a knight to Gardenia and a few of her cohorts on some adventures, I hear, and even creating a few parallel dimensions, which I do not recall if you were in my first class on April 1st. Speaking of, hello, I'm Osmo Bergamo, Dean of Conjuration here at Vemay Teldt Royal Academy of the Metaphysical Arts. And, yes, Knight Gardenia has, told me quite a bit about you. Osmo Bergamo is my name, yes. We have 2 cups of flour in this bowl. What else do we need? Salt, baking powder, baking soda. Alright. Now, Lawler, you have impeccable timing, because a moment ago, I had to, leave the classroom and put on a study video for my class because my flour had become cursed and I had to quickly conjure a new bag of flour, and I only just got back. Speaking of, my cooking music is gone. So let's just put that back. There we go. That is music to cook to. The video is, you can watch it in my office there. We need the salt. How much salt? 1 teaspoon. Not very much at all. Here's a teaspoon. Here's the salt. The cat is still in the pantry, so I can't close it. There we go. And we put the salt back. Hello, cat poking his head out of the pantry. Yes, it is, a recollection of good Cross there, coming to visit me during my office hours. Next, we need the baking soda and baking powder. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I actually need to use a bit, more than it says to use. Where did I just put the teaspoon? Where did I just put the teaspoon? You. Okay, the cat is back in. We cannot have the banana bread now because it is not done. How many? This is powder 2. 1, 2, and then we will add just a smidge more because this is old baking powder and so has lost a bit of its potency. And can lions smile? The thing is, when you venture the Feywilds very often, you see all manner of creature that should not smile. So, I've seen quite a few Cheshire grins. One could say that. I prefer my own familiar, but unfortunately he is shy, and the Fey Cat is not. Though I don't know where he went now, which makes me worry I did shut him in here. Let me check. Are you in here? Nope. He's finally left us alone. That was the baking powder. Baking soda, 1 teaspoon. All right. I was supposed to sift this mixture, and I didn't. But I haven't done a lot of things they told you. because, that is how I roll. Brand new baking soda. Speaking of the Fey Cat, you'll see this red mark on my hand. That is thanks to him. My legs are even worse off, but you're not going to see those. Well, there we go. Nothing a little stabbing can't solve. Except for... yes, this is teaspoon. I do have legs. There we go. Leg. We'll use the fork to just sift this around a little. And then we mix that with our other ingredients. And we will hope to get to the bottom of this butter situation. Blend it well into the batter, and then pour the batter into the greased loaf pan and bake for 1 hour. So, I've just realized these, I should have reversed these bowls. Can I reverse these bowls? Well, there's only one way to find out. We'll do it their way, and if it's not working, we'll abandon ship and we'll reverse. Magic hat. My hat isn't especially magical, but I thought I would wear one. The Vemay Teldt received some criticisms on the lack of headgear among our faculty, so I procured some for myself. It also helps to feel a bit like a chef's hat. Would a healing spell cure a lobotomy? Yes, the good cleric is correct. A standard healing spell, such as a cure wounds, would not, but a regenerate, which can restore lost organs and limbs, could. So, don't bet on it, but very rare circumstances can. Okay, we continue. I'm starting to think I'm a bit unconventional of a baker. But as long as we get some good bread out of it, I can deal with that. I am a wizard, not a baker. And, before I was a teacher, I have been several other things, but a baker is not among them. All baking is unconventional. Well, if that's the case, then perhaps me and baking will get along swimmingly, though, considering the cursed flower and the missing banana, I'm not so sure of that yet. Only time will tell. Now, unfortunately, this will need an hour in the oven, and that would be a long time for me to entertain you, so I'm not certain that you'll all be here to see this come out of the oven, but, we'll cross that road when we come to it. If, I'm not still streaming when it comes out of the oven, then there will be photos and a review of the final bread at my office on Tumblr. Do you think the weevils are needed for the ritual? Oh, gods, I hope not. Oh yes, the results of the bread will be shown. And, you know, after the bread goes in the oven, we'll take a brief break. And after that, I will perform a ritual. And then I suppose we will, spend some time together after that. And, at that point, we'll see how much time is left with the bread. Especially now that I have a chair nearby. I am starting to feel that my instinct about the butter was correct. I think it will be okay. We just have some of the wet sticking to the edges here. I think perhaps a fork is no longer the correct implement. Let's, smacking might be, though. What is the air-land speed velocity of a pigeon carrying a coconut? Now, I believe that in your universe, that is a special a trick question. I'm not terribly familiar with the film, other than I know that it contains a rabbit of considerable power that Knight Gardenia has compared to her friend Wildflowers the bunny. What was it? I thought it was a sparrow. Does it matter to species? Is that the trick? Alright, let's see if we can get any more of these vital powders, having the baking soda and such. I know that is important, so we don't want to lose it if we can afford it. Well, then touche, I believe I have conquered your riddle. I don't know that I have, but let's say I did. Okay, I think I will abandon the rest of these. Except this here. Okay. We'll give this another mix. Then we will grease and flour the pan. And then I suppose we will just relinquish this to the oven and hope for the best. It is still quite a bit chunky, which may not bode well. But at this point, this has been enough of an adventure. I'm willing to see where it leads. Well, I'm glad you thought so. As Knight Gardenia would say, nighty-night. And, do try to, if you have the time, catch the VOD, for the rest of the stream so that you can see the ritual I'm performing. It sounds like you have been working valiantly, and you deserve your rest. And thank you so much for attending my class today. It means a lot. I am truly grateful to all of Knight Gardenia's friends and cohorts who have been willing to give my classes a shot. I know I am not the usual fare. We are, of course, well, never mind. Alright, let's get this pan greased. I assume they wanted me to flour the pan as a sort of agent against sticking. Ooh. I put away the flour already. Let's bring it back. Our non-cursed flour. Alright. I'm just gonna sort of take a little... I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like this was wrong. This feels objectively incorrect, but... it will do! It will do! I think it will do. Well, I'm glad. Knight Gardenia is a very helpful sword, so if you wanted to ask her questions, that is what I just did, yes. But if you have any questions you'd like to ask Knight Gardenia, I'm sure she wouldn't mind. We have different bases of knowledge, but, well, she seems quite interested in learning. Her and I have been practicing our conjuration together, after all. That's how I'm able to stream into a different universe, that being yours. We are putting the batter in the loaf pan. I am very concerned about the butter, but we will get what we get. Once I have this in the oven, I will share a fun little anecdote with you all before we go to the break. Let me just make sure I got as much of this as possible. With the batter, because I do want banana bread. All right. I'm going to wash my hands. We'll put this in the oven, set a timer. I'll have to get a head start on the dishes as well. I'll probably do that a bit during our break. Oh, I forgot some... whatever. Right, let me just double check the instructions. I'm pretty sure I have the right of it. Bake for 1 hour. Alright. Have a 1 hour timer here. We shall open the oven. Hello, oven. You have been waiting for 1 hour and a half. What does orb do? Try it and find out. There we go. The timer has begun. orb doesn't hurt, I promise. Grab this one. Well, where did your orb go, I wonder? The fun of conjuration. Alright. I'm not doing this right now. I'm doing it during the break. So, there is one last step of the recipe that I did not originally account for, which is let it sit on a wire rack. Well, you are holding a different orb. It is still an orb, though. And then I realized I do have a wire rack. This is from the toaster oven. I took it out. So, that was my clever trick. We are going to have a 10-minute break for me to put dishes in the sink, clean these counters a bit, and after the break, I will perform the ritual I have prepared. It will be far different than the banana bread. And I have all of the ingredients. So let me pause the cooking music. And we will quick hop over here. I'll see you all in 5 minutes. Here we go. Oh, wrong one. Here. This is the one. Now then, let's get back to it, shall we? So, I realized that my familiar and the Fey cat need dinner, or they will get very annoying during the ritual. So, I've mixed up some wet food, and they are going to eat that. I think I'm going to try to put the Fey cat in another room, and maybe our familiar will actually take part in the ritual with us. So, one moment. The cats are running about to here. There we go. The Fey cat my familiar generally eats in the other room and the Fey cat eats out here, so, they resorted to habit. The Fey cat, of course, after he eats dinner, he gets hungry. So he will return, but, welcome back, everyone. You know, I don't think the music we've been listening to is a good fit for the ritual I'm performing. Let me find something a bit more fitting. Could I perhaps loop this? All right. That should do. That should do. I'm trying to think. I think for this ritual I should prepare one more thing, which is just something to drink. It is quite warm next to the stove, so this is some flavored water. It's pink. It's, peach tea, I think. Yum, yum, yum. Right then. The ritual. Welcome back, Fey Cat. Please do not interrupt this ritual. It is very dangerous. I will need several items. So, you've returned just in time, good Cross. I have just finished, feeding the cats, and, it is now time for the ritual. To set the stage, oh, let's get him in frame. No, he left. That's a shame. Can we put this... You can enjoy the ritual too. We'll see if he sits there. No, you're right on time, Cross. So, to recap what led me to performing this ritual. On April 1st, I held a class. I introduced myself, where I come from, my school of magic, and how I came to know Knight Gardenia. And the main takeaway that those who attended had was the desire to eat arcane ore. You should not eat arcane ore. It is dangerous, unstable, and bad for you, and also everyone else. As an educator, I was not pleased with that takeaway. I'm supposed to teach people ways to be safe around magic and proper protocol and all that. I mean, I don't work for the crown anymore, technically. I did in the past, and not working for the crown directly, I do work for the Royal Academy. And so I pondered, I soul searched for how to be a better educator, what I could do for my students. And as I explained before with the food coloring, I considered that perhaps it was just a hunger for colors. But it's, I think, about more than just the colors. It's also about the magical, the powerful, and the forbidden. And that called to mind a powerful ritual, one that actually comes from your mundane world rather than either the Feywilds or Miorma, or the continent of Brent, and that is, I've wondered how to categorize this ritual magically. For it's unnatural, for sure, but it doesn't quite fit into our systems coming from the mundane world. I want to say it perhaps counts as a necromancy? Not one you could very easily inflict on others, which makes it ironic in a way. But necromancy is the school that would allow you to inflict someone with something like blindness, deafness, sickness. And most of those spells and most other spells will only force someone to make one saving throw. But this ritual is notable in that it forces the target of the spell to make 2 saving throws. I think those will become more clear once I explain the steps of this ritual. This also serves as a good sort of introduction into how magic is structured in general. So first, we need color, and we need a plane. Most types of energies exist on a plane, manifest from a plane, are drawn to and return to, like souls to the ethereal, like how wild magic gathers in the Feywilds. And so I must form a plane. It is sticking a little. It is not cooperating. It is not going to be a very good plane when it is covered in holes. Come on. I did not expect this part to be the difficult one. I should have expected this. Could grab a different one. It is tearing quite a bit. Gracious. Every ritual today is cursed. That's not supposed to come off that way very well. Keep unraveling. Perhaps I should have unraveled the plane during the break. I don't even truly understand what it's doing at this point. Okay. Can I eat arcane ore? No! Is that a fruit roll-up? It's a plane! It's the plane that we are going to allow our magic to flow on and through if I can get it out of its plastic casing. Might be a very small plane, which would be unfortunate. We might need to take a second shot at this. Yes, because our plane split in half and that's not ideal. Bad plane. Not hospitable to magic. Demi-planes, what can you do? Okay. So this is something. Let's try one more and see if it goes better, and if it doesn't, we'll work with what we have. Okay. Being so careful. You know, I actually learned this ritual from a wizard from your universe by the name of Marrow Mage. He is a mouse that has a necromancer, actually, which is part of why I attribute this to necromancy. It's tearing. The plane is tearing. It does not want to cooperate. It might be the heat. I'm abandoning this. We'll use what we have. Okay. Oh goodness, it is sticky. Could go for a plane. Yes, he is. Well, he was a wizard, and then he traveled through a portal that was incomplete, and so was forced to place his soul into the body of a mouse. And then he found a skeleton, rode around inside the skeleton's eye, and eventually went on to perform this dangerous ritual for an audience. And so I'm sort of stealing his lesson plan, but, you know, I'm a new faculty. Okay, this is our plane. And I'm actually adding, like I say, I walk in a lot of people's footsteps, learning as a new faculty, but I like to put my own spin on things, so this isn't normally part of the ritual, but I'm enhancing it. As I said, the plane is to have a place for magic to flow, but flow itself is a stream, and so we have this juicy drop sour candy. I'm just going to put a smattering there to allow the mana to flow. That should be enough, I hope. And then we require magic. You know, I think this is the one. I'm not sure the exact amount to put, so like the arcane ore, it is volatile and crunchy, but I know one of the reasons you all want to eat arcane ore so badly is the crunch. And so now we do the horrible part. Pickle. Oh, it's fizzling. And then we wrap it up. It is popping very audibly. This is the problem with our plane. It's not quite enough to get around the pickle. Okay. So, here's our gross eldritch abomination arcane ore. Can you hear it? It's popping. And, so there are, I mentioned before multiple saving throws. The first is, a wisdom saving throw to even bite into this thing. And then the second is the Constitution saving throw. So, let's see how I roll, shall we? It's not nearly as bad as I expected it to be. The command is D20. There you go. A 7 is not good. So the fact that the pickles are not cold actually makes the flavor sort of, work together more than I expected. I didn't get too much of the pop rocks. You'll take another bite. Because I'm a good teacher. It popped at me. So, when Mage performed this, he said, I understand the fruit roll-ups and the pop rocks, but not the pickle. But I kind of want the pickle more than I want the everything else. I am a pickle fan. But the pickle isn't even overwhelming, it's just everything else is less loud than I expected. So I think I can finish this. Can't relate. Well, I hope that anyone that intends to eat something very colorful and very dangerous and very bad for you can be satisfied with this and leave the arcane ore alone. That was the purpose of all of this. Gone. Okay. I do have this other half-opened fruit roll-up. What is this ritual called? You know, when I didn't catch its name, when I witnessed it, I actually asked, why is that spring roll so colorful? And then I got laughed at. And then I got the context and I realized what was happening and was horrified. It's very sticky, so I'm licking my fingers. Which you would not expect me to do after that. The forbidden spring roll, perhaps. We could call it mock arcane ore. I'm not sure. You can do this ritual. All you need is pickles, fruit roll up, pop rocks, and optional some liquid candy. Now, I can, let's see, how long does the bread have? The bread has half an hour. We could probably kill that much time just chatting. I do have a story to tell about this ritual. I thought I would be depending on this drink quite heavily. My fingers are very sticky. I'm going to quick rinse them off. Okay. And I can use the chair! Chair. Can you hear me all right when I'm back here? Ought to remember this for next Halloween or next potluck I go to. I suppose, the reason I said that this ritual, would be difficult to inflict on other people is that, good luck getting someone else to eat that willingly. I suppose you could dare them. I think it would require a bit of enchantment magic. I do think, interesting thing about this ritual, most enchantment spells that allow you to command someone to do something exclude the ability to, ask them to do something obviously harmful, like stab themselves or jump into fire, but I think you could use enchantment magic to convince someone to consume that ritual, and it might not register as harmful despite what it is, and so I believe that is how you use it as a curse. I have just recalled that I did shut my familiar in a room so that he could eat his food, so I'm going to let him out quickly. Add a bit of whipped cream or sprinkles on top. So you have pop rocks on the inside and sprinkles on the outside. I mean, it would be both colorful and crunchy. Hello, Fey Cat. Yes, I am about to get my cat, the good one. Stop your well, I know why he's chirping. It's because he wants to eat what's left of my familiar's food. He will not get this. One moment, class, and then, yes, I have a story about this ritual that, I think you'll find amusing. And if we, still have time until the bread is done after that story, then I can, perhaps conjure something interesting for you. I do have, something in mind. First, let me just get the cat. The cat is freed. All right. Now to move this a smidge closer so that I can sit. Sitting is good. There's been a lot of standing during this stream. So, about a story about this ritual. So once I got it in my mind that this was the best way to attempt to correct the lesson I had given in my last class, I sent about acquiring the ingredients. And I did that by planar shifting over to the material plane, or to actually crossing over to your mundane world to pick up the most authentic ingredients. So I got the pickles, and I got the fruit roll-ups, but I could not find the pop rocks. So, that was at the grocery store. So, with not having had luck there, I went to a drugstore that was next door because, Knight Gardenia told me it had a sizable candy aisle, and that is where I found this. Not an original ingredient of the ritual. It also comes with some candy, some gummies, which I have not opened. But I figured that in the case where I did not find the pop rocks, it would be a decent enough substitute. And so, I did a locate object spell, and I found 2 pinks nearby. And when I went over there, I discovered that they were locations that Knight Gardenia had told me about. Back when the pandemic had started spreading across your mundane world, many people, I hear, got into baking, which I have given my shot at today. But Knight Gardenia went down a different path. She wanted to make swords out of duct tape and cardboard. And so frequented many places where she could acquire a variety of duct-taped colors. One of those was the dollar store, which, in addition to many kinds of duct tape, had a candy aisle with a less common selection. So I went through there, and still the pop rocks evaded me. Which led me to my final location of my search. Which makes sense for the path of Knight Gardenia, but was an unexpected path for me to retrace those steps. For the place my locate object spell guided me to was a cloth store, a fabric and craft store. But it did have a candy aisle right in front of the registers, and there I found not 1, not even 2, but 4! 4 kinds, this is 3, 4 kinds of pop rocks at the cloth store! So I picked 2. I thought maybe we could mix colors, it would be more colorful, more fun, but yes, yes it did, Dagger Gun, and because of that I was able to do the ritual properly. I had to go to 4 stores. Most of my ingredients I got at the first one, but I had to go to 3 other stores just to get popped rocks. And I did. I feel like if I combined the pop rocks with this flavored water, it would be horrendous. Let's try it. Oh, they're popping in my hands. I think they might be a little sweaty. I also maybe gave myself a few too many. You're rolling, are you rolling a constitution save for me? Oh. It all popped at once. Hi, now I'm talking into the microphone, but popping so much. Okay. Whoa. Oh. Not a fan of that. Let's put this nonsense back. We'll put the pickles just here. Could I own arcane ore for recreational purposes? No. It is forbidden by Miorman law to be used for anything other than government-approved purposes, such as artificing done by members of the Artificer Guild that are working directly under the supervision of the Crown, or if you are mining it. Partly rolling a save against the psychic damage. I see. Well, the Fey Cat is drinking the dishwash water. Shame him. Shame him. Shame. Okay, put him down.
Okay, how much left do we have on the... Still 22 minutes.
22 minutes on the bread.
So,
let's conjure you. Can you fight me? So, I believe you asked that during my first class as well, Reversed Cards. And, I don't think I would win. Judging by, everything that Knight Gardenia has told me about you, you seem quite fearsome. And I am a practiced wizard, but I'm far more practiced in teleportation and communications and not so much in combat. A solid hour and a half nap. Well, it is a shame you missed the ritual, but it is good to have you back in class. We have about 20 minutes until the bread is out of the oven. And we're now just sort of, killing the time. Speaking of, I was about to conjure something cool.
Cat! Quit drinking the dishwater. He's going for it again. And for you, I shall conjure something that reminds you of, our mutual cohort, Knight Gardenia. Just... Cat. Ah! A sword. I am stabbing directly into the wall. But now there's a sword here. Because why not? Why shouldn't I conjure a sword? Sword indeed. You'll be glad to know, a fellow Rev Brainrotter, that you know he has asked you to write fan fiction. Well, it sounds very exciting. Knight Gardenia has said good things about your writing. And how could you legally acquire arcane ore? It looks pretty and you want to place it on your shelf. Well, the way to legally obtain arcane ore, I say while attempting to pose the sword. I don't know how to pose the sword. Sword. Sword over hot oven. Shiny, shiny. The way to legally acquire arcane ore is to go through a series of mandatory training sessions and then a series of exams held by the Miorman government. Which... that sounds like a lot of work that I do not want to deal with, personally. Which is why I just, conjure pretend versions. Let me get my conjured ore. So you can look at this, but you cannot legally own it. If you, wished to acquire something that looks similar but lacks the explosive arcane properties, you might be interested in getting some bismuth, which is not actually terribly expensive. Or so I hear from Knight Gardenia. She says that these crystals remind her of heat-treated copper. Aren't you in with the Miorman government, though? I am in with them to an extent, yes. I worked previously for Miorma's current king, and so, when I wanted to teach at the Royal Academy, I was able to call in that favor to obtain a position. What would be the punishment if you were to illegally acquire arcane ore? Well, the first would be your imminent demise, because again, without the proper training, it is extremely dangerous to handle. But assuming that you survived and were handling it properly, but you were found to have some without the proper license, jail. And, of course, the ore would be forfeit. Cat out of the sink! You know what you did. And hello, Sin the Necromancer. You unfortunately did just miss the necromantic ritual I performed. But it is good to see you. Knight Gardenia has said good things about you. And it is nice to have another wizard here. I have been making banana bread, and I did do a magic ritual to create mock arcane ore, yes. It would be quite a bit of jail. Knight Gardenia has many good things to say about her friends, but, well, she's an honest woman. I do not think she lies about these things. She sees a lot of good in a lot of people. I'm going to put the sword into its conjured sword sock, because swords go in socks sometimes when they don't go in scabbards. This is the sock. And now we are going to put the conjured sword back. And let us check how much time we have left on the bread. Just 15 minutes now. Well, that's a nice optimistic way of doing it. So it has been an exciting 2.5 hours now, hasn't it, class? We baked some bread. I had to quickly teleport myself to the store to acquire flour in the middle of class. We had that interesting ritual. We've told stories. We've answered questions. And somehow I have seemed to once again do the opposite of convincing people to stop eating arcane ore, but I suppose I'll just have to keep trying. I do not know when my next lecture will be. I'll have to think of a proper lesson plan. I do hear that Knight Gardenia has yet to start playing the game I gave her, so I have considered every once in a while perhaps picking that back up, Graffiti Kingdom, since class seemed to enjoy it last time, though I know she also would like to play it, but you want it as decor. You know, if that's what you want to do with it, then that's better than before. I'll take it. Arcane or salt lamp. I'm sure we could perhaps make something that has a similar appearance without the potent arcane energy. It would be fun to conjure up some of the duct tape that Knight Gardenia is so fond of, but unfortunately, well, she had already considered the same thing and realized that the audio involved with handling duct tape would not be ideal for a stream. The cat is back. I have sprayed him. He doesn't seem pleased about it. Could you believe it? Your arcane stuff is a lot less lamp-like and a lot more dead. Well, that suits your school of magic. I'm not sure if arcane ore is so great for intruders if it is equally bad for you. That is, a double-edged sword that, is one of the few swords I think even Knight Gardenia might not touch. I think I hear my familiar? When we have about 11 minutes left for the bread, my next thought goes to, turn the cats into content. Well, the arcane ore could do many things to undead. The nature of it being just sort of raw, organic, arcane energy is that it's capable of any number of things dependent on the most minute of variables. So it could bring them back to life, or it could turn them into a pile of ash, or it could transport them into the ocean. You're a big fan of spite. Fair enough. There are other spells that can explode your stuff when people try to take them. I believe a good glyphs and wards. You can attach another spell onto an object and keep it there somewhat indefinitely until someone other than the caster interacts with it, and then that spell goes off. I hear some, for lack of, some conjuration of the feline variety going on in the living room behind me, and I see my familiar. He seems to be zooming. You started growing foxglove in your garden. Well, I'm sure Knight Gardenia will be glad to hear that you are gardening, being that she is the knight of the garden. Isn't foxglove quite poisonous? When will you be teaching those spells? And can someone without most of their organs do them? Someone without most of their organs, I suppose if they're capable of casting other spells, they would be just as capable of casting glyphs and wards. And, glyphs and wards isn't a conjuration spell, but I'm quick flipping through my spell book to see what information I can give you. Guards and wards, my bad. And I might have been thinking of the wrong spell. That one doesn't look quite right. I feel like it's an abjuration spell that does this, though. Okay, so glyphs and wards works on an entire building. Or guards and wards. Glyph of warding. There! Glyph of warding. It can ward, it can also explode. You can do explosive runes or a spell glyph that can store a prepared 3rd level spell or lower.
Glyph of Warding itself is a 3rd level abjuration spell, so I believe if you wanted to learn more about that spell, you would want to take a class with Professor Elaine. Let me pull her faculty photo for you. This is Professor Elaine, so if you see her in at school here at Vemay Teldt, you could perhaps ask when she might be teaching that spell. And that very good, Sen. Yes, the faculty here at Vemay Teldt are all very knowledgeable individuals. I've been getting along with them pretty well since starting here about, I believe it'd be 7 months now that I've been here at the school. And if you'd like to know about any of the other faculty, feel free to ask. Well, I have a funny feeling, Reversed, that the offer may share that interest with you. We only have 6 minutes. 6 minutes until the bread is done. Speaking of, let us get out the rack. And I will need some, things to pull it out of the oven with. I will also need to, move this chair. But for now, I will take another 6 minutes of sitting down. So who likes oatmeal raisin cookies? I think that they are, putting forth an admirable effort to live the life of a chocolate chip cookie, but they have not yet mastered the experience they are going for, in that they are lackluster and unconvincing. Do you have an alternate container for the new flour? No. I should perhaps ward it so it doesn't get cursed. That is a good idea. Could you or any other teacher enchant weaponry? I could certainly give it a shot, but we have a master of the craft, our secondary transmutation specialist, Professor Nell. Professor Nell is a little bit more of an artificer than a transmutation wizard, but she specializes in transmutation of the inorganic variety, such as enchanting objects and weapons, while her wife, the head faculty of transmutation, specializes in organic transmutation, such as causing you to grow or shrink, to grow claws, or to turn your skin to stone. A vast majority of the standard transmutation spells. So yes, if you wanted to know how to enchant something, you would find Professor Nell, and if you were to see Professor Alta, you could perhaps ask where her wife went. Professor Nell is a very interesting faculty member. Test. Welcome, Lawler. I hope that you weren't having too much trouble. It is this clairsperience ritual. This is only my third time casting it, and my first time on a new scrying crystal after the Fey Cat broke my other one after my test stream to prepare for this ritual. I'm glad that this... I mean, I apologize that you're having classes with me instead of Professor Nell, but, yes, I will be sure to pass along that, how popular she is with my students. My visuals froze for a second. Well, that is a shame. Looks like there weren't too many dropped frames. How is Professor Johann? Professor Johann, back when I was preparing this ritual, did actually visit me in my office, which is unusual for him. He normally avoids me. Oh, the ritual already happened, Ninja Cat Muffin. Now we're just waiting for the bread to finish. Professor Johann, who I gave a more thorough lesson in my office. But this is him, for those who aren't familiar. Professor Johann and I crossed paths briefly while I was working for the Crown, and have reunited here at Vemay Teldt. And the two of us didn't always understand each other, but he did approach me when I was preparing for the ritual that I performed earlier today, warning me against it, and well, then the scrying crystal was broken. Then the flower was cursed, so I'm starting to see what he might have meant. But you know, other than being as anxious and a bit stifling as usual, he seems fine. I'm sure he's good at avoiding any sort of harm, considering that he can see all of it coming a mile away, and sometimes even deigns to share those warnings with the rest of us. I will admit I was a bit frustrated with not being able to perform the ritual when I wanted to, and I sort of blamed him, but that's shooting the messenger, which I've done enough. Well, I normally only divine for myself. I don't do a lot for other people. So I guess I haven't had to deal with that, and divination is very handy, but I am glad that I went into conjuration. Well, perhaps. Oh! That's the timer! Let me move this chair. And let us see how the bread turned out. Hello, bread? Oh, that looks like a loaf! Not you, cat. Oh, it smells lovely. And that's another alarm. What makes it so that Johann is constantly seeing the various futures and you have to do it consciously? He's steeped himself in the magic to a very advanced point that I have not. I mean, many people practice divination and do not constantly see past and future, but the thing with high-level divination magic is that at a certain point, you acquire the foresight to see what you need to see without knowing that you have to look for it. That comes in the form of a high-level divination wizard's portent abilities. And I think perhaps Professor Johann just has a few too many. That's an uncharitable way of putting it. He has more than is common or more than most are equipped to deal with. But yes, the bread looks lovely. Let's see if I can raise it up a little higher. I'm supposed to test this with a toothpick. I already turned off the oven. Do I have any toothpicks? I might knock down the camera looking for it. I could try a fork. Let's try here. You know, we'll just assume it's good. It's great. Necromantic divination is also a thing. I would like to hear more on that as well. I will use a fork. It came out clean. That's good bread. What did you think I was going to use?
I'm going to check what it says I do with this bread once it's done.
Test the doneness. Take the bread out of the oven and turn it out of the pan to cool on a wire rack. I don't know how to do that. You can actually thump the bread and listen for a hollow sound. Oh, it's not sticking to the sides at all. Well, I have to get it out first. Can I... I don't know how to get it out. We should probably try a spatula, huh? This ought to do. Just flip it over, but then this nice round top. Okay, well, you sound, confident. Ah! Oh! We're fine. Everything is fine. Okay. I'm trying not to touch the... Alright, I wish you were here when I was making all sorts of mistakes. Aha! It's out. I almost touched the hot pan. Aha! Look at that. It's lovely. Lovely. So now I, what, punch it? Thump. It sounds like a nice drum. Here's our bread. I'm glad you could all come with me on this journey. So... It will be quite warm, but... I mean... We've all come this far. We might as well try it. I'm going to get crumbs all over the place if I try to cut it here, but... Should I use a sort of knife? We'll just use a butter knife, I suppose. Wonderful. I did take a number of liberties in the baking of this bread, so I wasn't sure how it would turn out. We'll get out my ritual plate. It has a few spots of pickle liquid, so we'll just avoid those. But, ooh. Professor Nell had what looked to be like a mini gun. Do you have guns? Professor Nell was holding there an arcane cannon. It is something of her own invention, and that particular one did not last terribly long before breaking into several pieces. I believe she was trying to concentrate and make a reversible gust of wind. Breads are still baking for a good few minutes after you take them out of the oven using residual heat. Well, I've already cut this piece, so... It is quite warm. I can see a little bit of the strawberry I added. Does Nell have arcane ore? It's hard for me to imagine her with a license given her irresponsible nature. But considering the things she's able to make, I have to conclude that she does. But don't eat it! Oh. It's light and soft. The taste is mild, but the fragrance is lovely. And the crust has a nice crunch from the flour. Place a slice of regular sliced bread on the side you have cut. Well, unfortunately, a certain Fey cat ate the regular bread. He snuck into the pantry and stole it. And I've yet to buy more. I could use plastic wrap. Alright, we'll use cling wrap. We also have wax paper available. I'm not doing this cleanly, but it's been a long class and I'm a bit tired, so I think it is about time to end stream. You've given him a little band-aid. Tastes like crayons if you wrap it while it's still warm. Yes, it is quite late, so I hope you all learned something, and I also hope you have had fun. I have certainly I've learned some things from you, and I've had a good deal of fun. And let us see, this is only my third stream. I believe at the end of these we find someone to raid, so I will look to see if any of Knight Gardenia's friends are doing anything exciting. And Knight Gardenia's next stream the next stream on this channel will be the Knight Gardenia you are used to, not me. But she should be streaming on Tuesday at her regular time, and I'm not certain exactly what she will be doing. Perhaps art, or perhaps her card game that she's been working on. I believe she's been doing that on Tuesdays quite often. I'm sure she will update her various socials on that subject, and I'm sure that, after this class, I might have some follow-up thoughts and, post over on Tumblr, and if you'd like to speak to me more, you can certainly speak to me there. Have you thought about flowers? What about them? If you have cookies that you want to keep soft, add a slice of regular bread slice to the box. It will give the cookies moisture, and the bread will turn rock hard. That is interesting. That does kind of feel like necromancy, an exchange of life energy of a sort. Vitality to one and fragility to another. You know, she must have forgotten in the midst of, a lot has been happening recently. I'm looking through people to raid. I see a chill art stream. I see what looks to be a horror game, perhaps. A way for Aster to refer to her other self that isn't just that phrase. Well, what would she call her? The alternate universe version of herself. Yes, I suppose that would be poignant to a point. I will consider that. Any flower names you like? You know, if I had to pick one, I think it would be the Orchid. Of course, the Aster flower is quite nice, and a Cosmo also comes to mind, but orchids. I do like orchids. Is teleportation circle guide the raid? Indeed it is! Dagger Gun, if you would like to guide this raid, I will cast a teleportation circle to guide us all to a channel of your choosing. Cerastosis. Interesting. Let us see what they are doing. Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Alright, we can head over there. I don't see why not. They've been going for 2.5 hours, which is as long as I have been, but they've just started a battle, so seems like they'll be streaming for a while yet. Let's go over there. Thank you all again for joining me for class today. I'll take some nice pictures of the bread, and as Knight Gardenia would say, may your efforts ever bring you glory, and on that note, don't forget to do your homework. We will just, oh, I don't have an ending stream. Our ending screen, so we just won't use one. I'm glad I am here to educate. Well, ta-ta, everyone.